Okay, welcome back people. Today's little purchase, a Draper stormforce 4-inch or 115mm angle grinder. It's a 650 watt, 115mm, 11,000 RPM. According to the box, it weighs 1.76 kilos. So we'll open it up, have a look, see what we think. Cost me just under £23, £22.70 something in Tool Station. So let's unbox him. Obligatory instructions. These are going to be the basic how-tos. Certificate of conformity expect for the UK. Parts listings. Health and safety warnings. Declaration of conformity. All good stuff. So first out of the box we got the spanner or key, whatever you want to call them. Handle, just cheap molded plastic with an inserted thread, nothing too fancy. We got a guard, which is adjustable by a screw and a captive nut. The main body of the grinder. Move the box out of the way. It's not too heavy, but it's got a nice bit of weight to it. Obviously you've got a chuck with spindle lock for changes. It's a nice slim profile on the body. On off switch is the rocker type, press down and forward, not just forward. If you just press forward it locks, can you see that? You've got to physically press down and forward. On top, which again I like them on top, I've had the side mounted ones, but I find the top, because that's where you're going to do, oh, it's a lock on one as well. That's handy, didn't know that. Saves your thumb from leaning forward, just leave it locked on. Right, it's a 650 watt cheap grinder. We've got, let's have a look how long the lead is. It probably said on the box, but I didn't read it. I hate these bread ties, I call them. Remember you used to have them on the bread? And obviously plug, it's fitted with a 13 amp fuse. No cable, you've got, I'd say, I'm 6 foot, 2 meters of cable. So again, a good length of cable. Like I say, it's nice and slim, because a lot of these grinders are going to be used one hand. And I've noticed some of the bodies are quite big on the other ones, so. But anyway, the guard fits over, and you've got little dimples in the guard, one there that fitted the corresponding dimples on the body. So I'll just grab a screwdriver, open him up, put him on, and we'll have a look. So all I've done is located the dimples. You've got 4 dimple points on the body and 2 on the guard, so you can set the guard at different sides. So I made sure that he's right back against the body. Slacken off the retaining bolt and make sure he's down all the way around, and then just tighten him back up. not teaching you how to suck eggs, but some of you out there won't know, or will only have little ingredients of grinders, so tighten that up. That's not going anywhere. Obviously I'm going to be using it that way, so that's going to protect not just my fingers but my eyes, but also you need to wear goggles as well. So I'll get a cutting blade. Ah, nice shiny new one. I'm not advertising for these, I just bought these cheap off Fleabay. I paid, I think it was £5 something for 20. They're okay. They say they're for cutting stainless steel. I don't think so. They do wear down pretty quick. So anyway, press spindle lock in and turn, and you'll feel it drop down, and then that's the spindle locked. So while holding that or depressing, undo the chuck nut, put your disc on, and then flat side down. If you was using a thicker disc, you'd use the shoulder side down, but this is a thin cutting disc, 1mm, so I'm going to put flat side down, spin it. Now you can use a key to tighten, but there's no need. I personally don't use a key, but you can give it a little tweak. I find once you've got him pinched down with a hand, turn him a little bit, it's going to self-tighten anyway as you start. So you've got a nice gap between the blade and the guard, so there's not going to be any danger of sparks from there. So just for you tubers, I'll give him a little tighten down for you to see. Again, I'm depressing the button at the back. That's it. That's all you need. People go cranking on these and there's absolutely no need. They're going to self-tighten the minute you start the machine. So handle, you can either have him on the bottom or have him on the top. It simply screws in place. Ready to go. You can use lock him on, and you've got controlled on your cut. You're keeping your hand away from the blade with the guard, or you can use it one-handed, as I do a lot of the time. A lot of people will use, you'll see on YouTube, a lot of people using small grinders, even big grinders, without the guard. Your choice, your fingers, your face. This is spinning 11,000 revolutions a minute. If that explode, and I have had some explode on me, when they get weak, they fracture and they shatter. When that explodes, that's coming off at spinning at 11,000 revolutions a minute. What do you think is going to happen if you were using that without a guard? Obviously that's going to go straight in your face. If you haven't got a full face shield on, just goggles like I wear, I'm going to have a face of cutting disc. So forget it. Always use a guard, it's there for a reason. And also if you're not using the guard, look at the underside. Look how close your fingers come to the blade. My thumb, I always wrap my thumb over the top. That would be right next to the blade. I'd end up losing a thumb or a couple of fingers or a face. So your shout, your decision. Always wear the guard. If you don't, you're a dick. But we'll plug him in, switch him on, see how loud he is, and have a look at him cut in. Right, these are the various goggles and ear protections that I use. It's up to you what you want to use. If you use a grinder without any kind of protection, you're a monkey. I have the choice between the goggles. Two types. One just seals in a little bit more if you've got more debris flying around. You've got the good old face shield, just fits on like a hat. But what I prefer to use are the ear defenders. but they've also got the goggles attached. I find these easy because I can flip the goggles up out of the way, and I've still got the ear defenders on if I've got machines running. So put the others to one side. I'm going to use these. We're just going to plug him in, give him a spin, just for you to see how loud he is. So again, plug him in. I'm just going to give him a quick spin, so you may want to turn the volume down a little bit. We'll see how loud he is. Not too bad actually. What I like, it's got a nice soft start. A lot of the cheaper ones, when you flick them on, you'll have a big jump as they start up, but this seems to have a nice soft start. Also, I don't know if you noticed, if I knock the power off, when I had it locked on, that effectively now is switched on. So when I switch the mains, this should come on. But it doesn't, which is to me a good safety feature, because if I knock him off, if for any reason I knock him off at the switch, come along and lock him on and forget, put him down, or I'm changing the blade, I'm not going to put my hands there now, changing the blade, somebody comes behind me, doesn't realise and switches the power on. Now if that didn't have the safety switch on there, that machine would start up. That could take my fingers off. So I think that's a good safety feature. So now we've seen him start. I'll get some material and we'll do some cutting and actually give him a test. Right, I got a bit of 3mm plate in the vise. I'm just gonna slice down him, see what we got. Again, you may want to turn your volume down. So as you can see, it cuts fairly well. Now I understand, let me see if I can zoom back normal, there we go. Now I understand, focus, there. It's a clean cut. Now I understand a lot of the cut is going to be the blade. Like I said, these are only cheap blades. So they're not going to cut fast and they're not going to cut for long. But, as you saw, a bit of 3mm stock, slice straight through. Now I'm lucky in my shop that I've got a couple, if I move over, I've got a couple of grinders. I've got another 4-inch and I've got another 9-inch. So I generally have one set for cutting, which will be the draper, and then one set for grinding, sanding and polishing. But if you're not lucky enough to have two, but at this price you could be, you may want to use the disc cutter, the angle grinder, for sanding and grinding as well. So what I'll do is I'll quickly change out the cutting disc and I'll put in a sanding disc, and we'll see how the motor holds up to some grinding. They've changed over now from the cutting disc to a flap disc. And what these basically are, I'll go on there for you to see. It looks like a normal disc, but it's made up of little flaps. Can you see them? Focus. Little strips of sandpaper that are all fixed onto a wheel. There's all different makes. You can get them in polishing pads as well, which is a real fine material. This one is a 60 grit. They go right down, I think, to a 24. Again, you can buy them cheap as chips on Fleabay. I pick them up in packs of 10. I usually pay around 6 or 7 quid. They last as long as they last. They're cheap and cheerful. But basically, you'd use something like this to flatten off your welds, clean up your work. Flap discs. So I've put one in to the grinder, and we're going to have a go just cleaning back just to see what this is like under load. Cutting, I wasn't putting a lot of pressure on the motor. I was just leaving the motor itself, the disc cut through. Sanding, you can put a little bit more pressure on, so you're going to work the motor a little bit harder. Now this does come with a 2-year guarantee, so, and it's a 650 watt, so we'll go from there. Quick little word before we actually go to the sand inside. A lot of people will tell you you shouldn't put a grinder down face down, you should only put it down. There's different horses for different courses. If you've got a guard on, you can put the grinder down and it's relatively safe. If you put it down at an angle, yes, you're going to catch, so wait for the grinder to stop if you're going to put it face down. If not, you'll notice that most grinders have got little lips or little legs on the back side, so that once you've finished working, if it's still spinning, you rest it down and it's solid. So again, it's up to you which way you go. This isn't a how-to, this is just I use it this way. Usually I put it back down. Sometimes I will put it face down, but I'll make sure I'm on the guard, not the disc, or the disc is stopped. So it's entirely up to you. I'll jump you over to the tripod. Click your phone in, because I record these on my phone. Zoom in a little bit. Now again, this is going to be loud, so you may want to, where are you? There you are. You may want to turn your volume down. Eye and ear protection, a must. Power. Here we go. Guard down, back down, your choice. Right, I'll lift you off. Like I said, it's not a how-to, we're not going to try and grind all the way. As you can see, this is a bit of plate, it's going to be hot, so I'm not going to touch. But, new disc, I know, new flap disc. You can see how they weigh down. Don't worry, the power's off. But yeah, even under load, you could hear the motor wasn't struggling. It wasn't bogging down and dying. So, as it stands, I'm pretty impressed with a little welder for, I think it was £22.97 or 87. So for £23, It's a nice feeling little welder. You've got a rubberized back where you grip. If I can hold the camera. There you go. You've got a nice rubberized back. Let me see if I can zoom back out. There we go. Nice rubberized back for when you hold. So it's just not going to slip and go anywhere. And build quality, it feels fairly good. Remembering the price, £23, 2-year guarantee. So far, I'm happy. Obviously, the more I use the grinder, I'll keep you up to date. If it dies on me, if it falls apart, if bits fall off, maybe we'll come back in, say, 6 months' time and see if it's any good, if it stood the test, so to speak. So if I close the box back up, I can give you a finishing shot of the box. If you do want to buy one, I'm not advertising for Draper. I've not been sponsored in any way. This came out of my own pocket. I spent my own shekels on this. So basically my other grinder burnt away. So it's a Draper Stormforce 4-inch. It's 115mm if you want to be pedantic. There's the code. I haven't seen it anywhere else, so I think it might only be available at tool stations, but you can order online if you want one. Yeah, good little grinder. I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Nothing else to say. Thank you for watching. Please click, like, subscribe. Help a tuber out. Alright. Till next time, people. Bye.